Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hallmark Movie Drafts, where our three guest panelists are all Hallmark movie enthusiasts and Deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who love to rate, rank, and debate all things Hallmark movies related. It's December and time to draft the definitive list of this year's 10 best Hallmark holiday movies from the 40 new ones that aired on Hallmark Channel or Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel during their Countdown to Christmas event, plus the two that aired in Christmas in July. So a whopping 42 movies are eligible. We're not including the two new Christmas movies that aired only on Hallmark Movies Now, and because they still haven't aired on one of Hallmark's other two channels. And those movies were Rescuing Christmas with Sam Page and Rachel Lee Cook, and An Ice Palace Romance with Marcus Rosner and Celeste Desjardins. I'm Lynn, your host, and with me is Erinbeth, my co-host. And joining us today as guest co-host is someone who was a panelist and chaos agent in last year's Christmas movie draft, and this year said, I think I'd like to co-host. It's Susie. Susie, welcome back. I know you have
I am thrilled to be here.
I know that you have a hectic life. You've got a lot going on in Texas. Did you manage to watch all 42 movies?
I made it to all of them except the ones that were on Hallmark Now.
On Hallmark Now.
Yes. Yeah. I made it through all of them down to the wire.
Good for you. Good for you. It was quite a lot this year. So tonight's match, Susie, is extra important because we've got this 2023 Hallmark Movie Drafts Tournament of Champions coming up throughout January, where all of the panelists who won their drafting match will compete, and one of them will ultimately be crowned the 2023 champ. So whoever wins today's match is going to be the final panelist to join that tournament next month. Do you have any predictions as to who's going to be the winner tonight?
I think it's going to be Vanessa. After Brian's debacle last year.
Do you know what debacle means? I don't think you do.
I do. With Cozy Christmas and I think she's the dark horse in this one, but she's got my vote.
Got your vote. There was some fist pumping from Vanessa. Brian giving a thumbs down. You could be right, Susie. We're going to wait and see what happens. So, Erinbeth, this Christmas season, Hallmark offered up holiday storylines that continue to showcase a wider, more inclusive range of cultures and traditions, and a more real-world perspective that families in love come in all kinds of configurations. And Hallmark was really taking some big swings this year with a couple of high-concept movies, which may or may not come into play in tonight's draft. And there were movies that were featuring my three favorite tropes: fake relationships, time travel, and time loop. But I'm really bummed that Hallmark didn't air Rescuing Christmas or An Ice Palace Christmas on Hallmark's channels this year. Rescuing Christmas was actually one of my favorite movies. Did you get a chance to watch it on Hallmark Movies Now?
Yes, my local library uses Hoopla, and through Hoopla you can get a 7-day binge pass for Hallmark Movies Now. So that's how I was able to watch them. I was glad I got to watch Rescuing Christmas. I don't know if I can say the same about the Ice Palace movie, but I loved Rescuing Christmas. I love Hoopla, and I love getting it through my local library. So anyone listening, anyone here, I recommend, if you want to watch Hallmark Movies Now, you don't want to pay for it, see if your local library has Hoopla, and you can log in and get that binge pass really easy. And you can renew. For me, I'm able to renew every 7 days. I know that sometimes there's blocks on it through different libraries, but you can at least get it once a month. I know that.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a great service. Most public libraries have it. I'll put a link to Hoopla in the show notes, but check with your local libraries and you'll be able to talk with them about whether or not they have the service. So before I get to introduce our three panelists, listeners, what you can't see is that all 33 double-deckers who joined throughout 2023 as either a panelist or a guest co-host were invited to sit in tonight to enjoy tonight's battle. they'll be commenting with one another in the chat and with their mics off. And then once we get through reading the final top 10 list, they'll have a chance to unmute, weigh in with their thoughts and their opinions, because let's face it, making it through all 42 movies this year was a commitment, and everybody's got something to say about something, probably especially about Brian's picks, I'm guessing, but we'll see, because he's being haunted by number 4, and I'm already seeing some comments. That's the truth in there. Okay, so now for the panelists, as I said earlier, all 3 are returning, probably despite their better judgment, having done this last December, and they're all super competitive with one another. So first up is Brian. Brian, welcome back. Brian is better known as the guy in the middle chair who loves Hallmark movies on the Deck the Hallmark podcast. Brian, Susie already alluded to this, but you took a lot of heat last year for your pick at number 4 in the best top 10, A Cozy Christmas. Do you have any regrets, or do you still stand by it?
4 seems low now that I'm hearing it back. And I didn't hear it mentioned as a movie that's not eligible this year. So maybe a good opportunity to bump it up a few spots where it belongs. Yeah, that had a long tail. I feel like I caught grief for that for a while. You know what? I didn't go back and rewatch it this year. I should have, to see where it would, how it held up and where it would fall this year. I have a feeling this year it wouldn't have even been a consideration in the mix because of the batch we have of movies. There's so many I want to cram in to my top 10 here. It might not have made the mix, but I still have positive feelings about it. And maybe I won't revisit it just so it stays like in that little ice capsule, like as good as I remember it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Brian, people can question your judgment in movies and in choosing to bake fudge. And they will, and they do. Yep. One thing that they really can't question is your commitment to the job, because I was in Greenville this past October for marathon weekend, and out of all of the podcast hosts that were there on site, so Bran, Dan, Alonzo, Patrick, you were the only one who stayed up the entire time. You did not take a break. You did not go to sleep. How many hours was it? Was it 24, 36, 48?
It was like 27-ish, something along those lines. Yeah, I'm not going to do that next year again. I don't think it was quite worth it. Jax was supposed to do it too. We were going to be partners in crime. It was going to be fun. It was going to be wild. She was going to be great. Who knows what, like, she's amazing on regular amounts of sleep. She probably would have like hit another level of just Jack's awesomeness, and that would have been a lot of fun. It ended up just me with a 1,000-mile stare, which was not as fun. So yeah, that I regret more than Cozy Christmas Inn at 4.
Wow. Well, we all appreciated that. Those of us watching at home or in person, it was great to see your pupils dilate throughout that time period.
I thought I was fine. I'm like, what's the problem? Everybody's making all these comments that I look like ridiculous, and I was like, I feel great. And looking back at it, I was like, everybody was right. I was wrong in that situation. Yeah.
Kind of like how we all told you about number 4, but I digress. We're going to move on. So also back with us is Mary. Mary, I just love your gameplay and your comments so much. You drafted in the Lacey Chabert mega draft in July, right after we all got back from Bramblefest. That was such a massive undertaking. It was a top 15 list. There were four panelists. There were tons of vetoes in play. And at one point you said, it has taken both 10 hours and 10 minutes. And I still, and it was true and hilarious. And yet you're back again. This is going to be like a piece of cake for you, a top 10 list, right?
Well, I hope so. I try to watch as many of all the new holiday movies every year. And this is the first year since I have been tracking. So like the last 4 or 5 years, this is the first year that my top 15 are all Hallmark movies. Usually I have a streamer or a Lifetime or more than one, and Hallmark they had great movies this year.
Is this on your website?
Well, my list, I haven't published my list because I didn't want to give anything away. I know
Yeah.
Brian Harold is constantly checking my blog, checking my Instagram. So I gotta play the game.
Let's go. Time's ticking here.
Let's go. I'm going to put a link to Mary's blog in the show notes, just like I did for last December, so you can see it because she does a killer job. Mary, do you think your Enneagram 1 is going to come out tonight?
I mean, only in the way that like I'm gonna be perfect at this. No, just kidding. Kidding.
Very good.
I don't know. I mean, I guess time will tell. I will say, just an FYI for anyone watching this all go down, I'm not crying, no matter what anyone thinks. I am a little sick. I have a watery eye, but I'm not crying, I promise. No
No,
matter
you
what
look
others
you
do.
look beautiful, and you're a trooper for hanging in there for tonight. And also, you're already eligible for the Tournament of Champions because you won that Lacey draft, and you're coming into this match with one leftover veto in addition to whatever vetoes come with whatever drafting position you pick tonight. So good luck. You've got a lot going on for this match.
I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but certainly not least is my buddy from New Jersey, Vanessa. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you were a fantastic guest co-host last year, and this year you wanted to try your hand at actually drafting on the panel. Was it hard for you to come up with your top 10 list?
Yes, only because I would move things around. I also had trouble sort of deciding between what were my favorite 10 versus the top 10 that Hallmark, because I think that my opinions are a little bit different, I think, than everybody else's. So I was just really trying to focus on what were the best versus the ones I like the most.
Okay. Are you nervous at all to go up against Mary or Brian?
Oh,
You
God,
sound
no.
like-
No way. No way.
There you go. This
A
is
little
why
too confident. A little too confident there.
Are you
I don't know.
intimidated?
I mean, you got Mary crying over there, so makes me a little nervous.
And Brian's just thinking about his birthday cake tomorrow when he celebrates his birthday. So I think Susie might be right. You're the dark horse, and you can take him down. I have confidence in you. All right, let's start shifting into gameplay mode. If this is your first time listening, you can pause here and listen to the Hallmark Movies Draft intro show first. That's where I go over some of the rules and how vetoes work and all of that. Or you can keep listening and you'll pick it up pretty quickly. For eligibility, as I said earlier, the movies had to air on Hallmark or Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel as part of their Countdown to Christmas event or their Christmas in July event. So that's 42 movies. It does not include the 2 movies that aired on Hallmark Movies Now as of this recording. So you can see the full list of titles on our Instagram and letterboard, and the links will be in the show notes. Let's talk drafting positions for this match. There are 3 of them, A, B, and C. Drafter C picks positions 10, 7, and 3. Drafter C gets 1 veto and 1 veto override. Drafter B picks positions 9, 6, 4, and 2 on the list. Drafter B only gets 1 veto because they get 4 picks instead of 3, so they get more chances to get their movies from their personal list onto their final list. And drafter A picks positions 8, 5, and the number 1 position. They get 1 veto card and 1 bonus veto, so basically 2 veto cards to play. And as I said earlier, Mary has 1 leftover veto that she can use in addition to whichever position she ends up with after we get through the trivia round. First person to answer 1 question correctly in the trivia round gets to choose whether they want to be drafter A, B, or C. The second person to answer a question correctly gets to choose from the remaining positions that are left. And if you lose the trivia round, you get whatever's left over. But the person who wins the trivia round also has to be first up in the veto order. So with that said, there's a lot going on. Just relax, have fun, play the game. I'll take care of monitoring everything and keeping track for you guys as best as I can. If I make a mistake, don't hesitate to point it out. I have zero modesty here, so humiliate me if I say something wrong, because I'd much rather get the game right than to have someone move up or down in the scoring if the error was up to me. So with that said, I'm going to turn this over to Erinbeth and Susie to take us through the trivia round. Good luck, everybody.
I would just like to point out that Vanessa's over in her corner, warming up with some boxing moves. I do not believe that Vic Webster will be listening to see if there was a fighting chance. So probably don't
She's
have
gonna
to
wear
do that.
herself out too early. This is great for me.
42 movies provided for a lot of options for trivia. So I hope you guys took really good notes. Before we get started with the trivia, I do want to go over the 4 rules. I know everyone are veterans and you've heard them, but just in case you forgot. Number 1, you can't answer until I have finished asking the question. No jumping in before I have finished speaking. Number 2, as soon as I finish asking the question, just shout out your answer. We're not going to call on you. Number 3, I will tell you if your answer is right or wrong. If you're wrong, you cannot guess again until the other 2 drafters have made a guess. And number 4, if I give you a hint or a clue, then anyone can answer. So if you just guessed incorrectly before the clue, it's okay to guess again right away. So are there any questions about trivia so far other than what are the questions? All right. Then I'm going to throw it over to Susie for question number 1.
Are we ready? The question number 1 comes from the Santa Summit. In the Santa Summit, what is Hunter and Corey's favorite movie?
Casablanca.
It is
I'm sorry.
Casablanca. I don't know who got that.
Well, Brian actually said Casablanca. If we want to be technical about it.
Well, that's
We
because
don't.
he's from Massachusetts and they only have 25 letters in the alphabet.
And
Okay.
he's been hanging out with
So-
Bran.
Susie, Lynn, and I will confer. It sounded like exactly the same to me.
Yeah, it was too close to call you guys. Sorry.
Okay. So we'll go on to question number 2, which is from Mystic Pizza. What is the Christmas tree in Chandler's restaurant made out of?
Pizza
Pizza
boxes.
That was, I believe that was Mary first. Do we all agree? Nope.
yes,
You think
I
it was
just-
Brian first?
I think I just need to sort of nitpick a little bit. It's not Mystic Pizza. I almost feel like you gave it away by saying Mystic Pizza when it's
Oh,
Christmas.
I did say Mystic Pizza. You know, I just watched that movie the other day.
Boy.
Point of order.
I'm only saying that because I didn't get it. That's the only reason I point that out.
I can understand the arguments. I asked the question, so we will defer to Lynn and Susie as to whether we should go to another question.
I think you gave the answer away by saying the title.
Okay, before we get to question number 3, I want to completely apologize to Susie. My intention was not for you to get this question. I believe Lynn liked it most because she wanted to hear someone try to pronounce it. So go
She
ahead.
had like spirits and she lives in like Colorado. I would have never known her.
Jessica, can you mute your mic, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
Susie, go ahead with number 3.
Yes, thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
In Round and Round, what does Brian call dirt on the Sufganiot? Otherwise known as a jelly donut, or as we call them in Chicago, plonchki, a Polish donut. So what in Round and Round does Brian call dirt on the jelly donut?
Brown glitter.
Whoops. I don't know.
No, Mary, that was not correct. Vanessa or Brian?
I had a guess, but I just made it up.
Just make it up, Vanessa. You make it
What do you
right.
think I just did?
Oh, nature seasoning.
Oh, Brian's so
Oh, no.
close, but not correct. We will move on to the next question. The correct answer was trail spice. How are you kicking yourself, Brian? In A Biltmore Christmas, what is the name of the movie being filmed? It's funny how sometimes the questions I think are going to be the easiest stump them the most.
The double deckers that have joined us in the chat are squeezing their heads in shock
Yeah.
that, you know.
My Merry Wife.
What did you say?
My Merry
What
Wife.
did you say? Did you say My Merry Wife?
My Merry Wife. That seems like that's wrong.
Dude, it's very close.
You're close.
Okay. Mary or
Who's Mary
Vanessa?
Wife?
No, I like
Okay.
Brian's answer.
Okay, if they don't have an answer, Brian can guess again.
I think, yeah, Brian, you're very, very close.
A Merry Wife?
Did you
His
say
Merry
the
Wife?
Merry Wife?
Mary wife.
His Merry Wife. Vanessa got it.
Ah,
I think
of
Mary
course.
did though. I'll be
His
honest.
Merry Wife. I'm like, try another pronoun. And then you
Yeah.
didn't even try a pronoun.
Not even close.
Wow, Vanessa. Okay. So Vanessa,
right.
you can sit back and relax and decide if you want to be drafter A, B, or C, and Susie and Erinbeth can continue to figure out who goes next.
I mean,
Apparently stump everyone.
I kind of feel like Mary said it first. I feel like she was the second before me. Do you agree, Mary? Do you feel like you said it first?
Well, I do agree, but I also want to be a good sport.
Okay. So,
Well, here's my thing. I feel like what I choose is probably not what people are going to choose. So,
You know what? I will concede. Let Vanessa have it, and then I'll go head to head with Brian again.
No, I think if you guys heard something other than what we heard, that we'll do it again. This will be the longest trivia round in the history of HMD because we want to be fair. So everybody is still back in it.
I'm just a pain.
And we will actually play the game in January. So just keep going.
all right, Susie, if you want to start with question number 5.
Yes, from Haul Out the Holly Lit Up.
Yes.
In Haul Out the Holly, what shape are the speakers the Jolly Johnsons placed in everyone's yard?
Gnomes.
Mary.
That was very clearly Mary.
Way to go, Mary. All right. You now can sit back. You'll be first up in the veto order and you'll get to pick your drafting position first.
All right, for Vanessa and Brian, in A Heidelberg Christmas, what is on the ornaments Claire makes?
Oh, Brian, thank you.
Amazing.
You know what the problem is when you watch these movies, I understand, when you watch these movies 2 months ago, it is hard. No, I get it. I wrote these
details slip
questions 2
away.
months ago.
All right, that was the trivia round. So Mary, you won the trivia round. Do you want to be drafter A, B, or C?
Oh shoot, I need to look at the
Like, you want me to repeat what they are?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So drafter C gets picks 10, 7, and 3, and a veto override. Drafter B gets the most picks, 9, 6, 4, and 2, and 1 veto. And drafter A gets picks 8, 5, and the number 1, and they get 2 vetoes, basically. And you will
Okay.
have a veto in addition to whatever you get.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with B.
Okay, so Mary is going to be drafter B. She will have picks 9, 6, 4, and 2, and she will have 1 veto plus her extra veto that she's carrying over from the Lacey Chabert show. Okay, Ryan, would you like to be drafter C or drafter A?
Drafter A.
Oh, wow. Brian is going for drafter A, where the number 1 pick will rest in his hands, as well as 8 and 5, and he will get 2 vetoes. And Vanessa, that means that you are drafter C. You're going to be kicking off the list because you get picks 10, 7, and 3, and you will get 1 veto and 1 veto override. So Vanessa, as you're thinking about what your first pick is going to be for number 10, you can message me in Messenger since we've got the chat going on for the double deckers. And as you're doing that, I can just remind everybody that Susie and Erinbeth and I have a little side hustle going on where we've each exchanged our top 10 lists with one another, and we're just going to try to see how many of our top 10 personal picks make it on to the list that you guys draft. So let's see what we've got. Let me know when you've sent it over, Vanessa. I see it. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Buckle up. Vanessa has chosen a movie from 2023. Obviously, I don't need to say that tonight. It stars Andrew Walker as Oliver, Rachel Scarston is Kate, and it's Christmas Island, when a snowstorm diverts Kate's first private flight en route to Switzerland to Christmas Island. She must team up with an air traffic controller to secure her dream job as the family's private pilot. Vanessa, why do you like this movie for your number 10 pick?
I think it was okay. I would think that it's definitely in the top. I did sort of wrestle around with this and a few others all around, so I'm not dead set on it being number 10. But I thought it was really enjoyable. I always love to watch Andrew Walker. I thought it was a really fun movie.
All good choices, all good reasons. Mary, you're first up in the veto order. What do you think about Christmas Island?
Oh man. I don't think good thoughts about it. I had to scroll down so far in my letterbox to see where I had actually put it. Oh.
You won't do it. You won't set the tone.
I don't know what tone that is.
You only have 25 vetoes. Why? I mean, I put them somewhere.
Now, come on, the maximum is 4, and she only has
I only
2.
have 2.
She only has 2.
Gosh darn it. I don't like this on the list at all. I have a solid top 10, and then there's at least 5 others that I could live with, and I have to veto it.
Whoa.
Right out of the gate. Mary
Wow.
is
That's a great work. Great work. Very nice.
All right. We're going to take Christmas Island out of the number 10 position. It could come back. Anyone can play it higher up if they are brave enough and they choose to. But for right now, it is gone from number 10. And Vanessa, you can go ahead and send me your next pick for number 10, because Christmas Island will not be it. She's thinking hard.
I'm deciding between 2.
Well, she gave Christmas Island just a raving review.
She is, and one of the
imagine.
double deckers has given Mary a piece of advice. They're saying, save the rest of your vetoes for whatever Brian has planned for number 1.
There aren't enough vetoes in the world to stop this train.
Historically, we have learned that if you make Brian burn a veto early, he will make you pay for it later. Just say.
Hey, so I didn't force his hand on this one.
No, you didn't.
That's right.
Took one
All right.
for the pod.
I have Vanessa's replacement pick for number 10. She's chosen a movie that stars David Eisenborn as Henrik, and Rhiannon Fish as JJ. It's My Norwegian Holiday. JJ is grieving the loss of her grandmother and seeking dissertation inspiration, stumbles upon an unexpected holiday destiny. Meeting Henrik, a Norwegian from Bergen, their connection deepens when he discovers she has a troll figurine from his hometown. To explore the troll's history and her grandmother's ties, JJ agrees to join Henrik on a journey to Norway, and in Bergen, they're drawn into his family's Christmas and wedding traditions, with his sister's wedding the day before Christmas Eve. She embarks on a holiday adventure, uncovering the troll's origins and finding her own path to healing, love, and family. Vanessa, what do you like about My Norwegian Holiday for number 10?
I mean, the fish. She's the best.
Obviously.
I love the fish. We're talking about Rhiannon Fish. Anything I see her in, I love. She did a great interview with the guys on Deck the Hallmark on the Deck the Hallmark podcast. If you haven't listened to that interview, check it out because she is just a delight. I also will say that in this movie, I was honestly shocked at something that was revealed in the end. I don't know if I should give a spoiler alert, or I'm assuming we've all seen these movies. So, I mean, usually in a Hallmark movie, I can tell you everything that's about to happen. But I will tell you that when it was revealed that that guy, the coach, was her father, her grandfather, I really, honest to God, was shocked. And it just took a lot, I guess, for a Hallmark movie to surprise me.
Okay, that's kind of a ringing endorsement and a backhanded compliment at once from Vanessa, which
Well, it's what we love about Hallmark,
which is
right?
what we love about Vanessa. Absolutely. What we love about Hallmark. Mary, what do you think? My Norwegian Holiday at number 10. You gonna let it stand?
Heck yeah, great pick. Love it.
You love it?
Love
All
it.
right. How about you, Brian? What do you think?
I love it. I love it too. It's my number 10 on my overall list for the year as well. So it's it feels right. Feels right.
Wow, way to go, Vanessa. Congratulations. You got your first pick ever in HMD onto the list. So you can sit back and relax for a minute. And Mary, you are next to send me your pick for number 9. And while I'm waiting for Mary's pick, I should probably point out there were some really delicious themed beverages that were created for tonight's draft. If anybody's so inclined, you'll find them on the Hallmark Movies Draft Instagram. There's a mocktail as well. I am drinking water tonight because these guys are just gonna keep me on my toes. But there's some really good ones on there. Okay, I have Mary's pick for number 9. She has chosen a movie that has a great ensemble cast. It's got Catherine Bell, Jonathan Bennett, John Brotherton, Aaron Cahill, James Denton, and Vincent Rodriguez, as well as several other people. It's Christmas on Cherry Lane. A young couple preparing to welcome their first child, an empty nester and her fiance ready to start a new chapter, and a couple who unexpectedly have the chance to expand their family on Christmas Eve celebrate the holiday as they navigate these turning points in their lives. There are a lot of generational dots to connect in this movie. My husband and I actually live in an older home, so we've often thought about who has lived here in our house before us. We've found bits and pieces of the previous owners tucked away or accidentally left behind or lost, behind a radiator or in a wall that we've removed. And actually, when we put in our addition, we actually hid something under a new staircase that we put in that had photos of us and our pets and some.
It was a body parts, at least, right?
Contraband of, oh God, you were such a smart ass, Brian. I love you.
That was a plot line in one of the Mystery 101, so it is Hallmark related.
Yep.
Right.
It's a little, yeah, it is Hallmark. It is Hallmark related. So, all right. Well, Brian just ruined that heartwarming moment that I was trying to give. Mary, tell us why you love this movie.
I just thought, any movie that makes me feel the urge to create my own murder board, to connect the dots and like figure it out or draw a timeline or something. Like the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries don't even require that sort of thought and attention. So I really appreciated how they wove everything together and how they revealed it in little bits and pieces. Aaron Cahill's parents and Catherine Bell's son were super annoying, but the charm of the other characters I thought made up for it. And then when you add Jonathan Bennett freaking out, that's my favorite Jonathan Bennett, is when he's freaking out about something. I don't know that I would say that it was a favorite, but I really feel like it was one of the best. Like it should be in the top 10.
Brian, do you think it should be in the top 10, specifically at number 9?
Boy, I don't. This is tough because I see all of the reasons for it to be in the top 10. I respect the heck out of this movie. Like the effort they took in this was so admirable. The cast is so big. I love an ensemble. Everybody did a great job. It's just not in my top 10. I feel like there's so many strong movies that belong in the top 10 that I feel bad. It's not even like I feel bad because it's very good. Last year, this probably would have been a no-brainer. Boy, this is tough because I don't think Vanessa thinks it belongs in the top 10 either. I don't know if she would veto it, and I don't
Brian's
know if it's too early. But also I wouldn't be upset with it at 9. Boy, there's such little leeway in this top 10 this year. I am going to let it stay.
Are you sure? You have 2 vetoes.
I know that. I know. This is tough. I'm not strong enough against it to feel like it doesn't belong. In my gut, I feel like there are gonna be some fights around the midsection here that I'm really gonna, have to come out swinging, and I'm gonna just haul these vetoes over the wall like
So you're just
grenades. And I'm gonna
scared to
save them.
use it now, is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I said at all. Actually,
All right. So
Like
Brian's
I'm not vetoing. I'm gonna keep it at 9, and welcome to the top 10. For now.
Brian
Cheerleading.
is not going to veto it. Vanessa, are you going to do what Brian cannot do? Are you going to veto this?
100% I'm going to veto this.
Thank you.
Oh
Woo!
my goodness.
Phew.
Guys, you don't think it belongs in the top 10? I think it belongs really high.
Oh, come on.
I'm
I'm glad I
saying.
saved these vetoes.
I
What have you
movie.
done?
I loved this movie.
Oh,
All right. So Vanessa, we're going to hold off on your thoughts because you've made it clear
Yeah.
that you're going to play it higher. You've used your 1 veto. You now only have a veto override. So you can use that to cancel out someone else's veto. You can't use it to save your own
Oh, no.
pick. That puts Mary back to having to send me her pick for number 9. Listeners, we are only 2 picks in, and we have already thrown some vetoes. Wow, I did not see that coming. So, Mary,
Anarchy. It's going to be anarchy, and that pleases me.
Susie, it's
There are only 3 vetoes left to play, and Brian has 2 of them.
Terrifying. No one should give Brian that kind of power.
Other than the veto over. I mean, we have a veto.
Yeah,
override.
that override is invaluable at this point.
and Brian has the veto power and the number 1 pick. And what alternate reality have we fallen down here?
I've never been had more power than in this moment in my life.
Oh my God.
Well, that's a birthday gift I just wanted to give to you, seeing as though your birthday is coming very soon. Not in 2 months, but this month.
Right.
I'm just giving you that birthday
Thank
gift.
you.
Yeah,
Brian, with great power comes great responsibility. I need you to remember that right now.
That's right.
While
I'm
you're
gonna-
while
I'm
you're
gonna-
drunk on this control.
I'll squander it. You guys know I'll ruin this.
Oh, we know.
all right. I have Mary's replacement pick for number 9. She's chosen a movie that starred Michael Rady, Lindsay Fonseca. It's Where Are You Christmas? I'm gonna try to make this one brief. This is a magical wish trope that Hallmark loves to do. Lindsay's character is feeling overwhelmed by everything Christmas with her marketing job and her gung-ho Christmas family. Her name's Addie. And she wishes Christmas will just go away. And her wish is not only miraculously granted, no one in her family or in her hometown remembers Christmas, and now everyone and everything is in black and white. But when she returns a ring to the town mechanic, Hunter Blakeman, that's Rady, she finds he becomes the first person to remember Christmas, and he changes back into full color. So together they're on a quest to get everyone in town to remember Christmas and bring back the joy and the color. Will Addie, though, ever get her color back? I don't know, Mary. Will Addie get her color back?
I mean, spoiler alert, she does, but not in the poster, so it's a little confusing. Oh, look at Lynn. Like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the one I'm picking, but I will admit that because this was the first movie or one of the first movies, I don't know where it would land on my list if I watched it now. It's so hard when there are so many and it's spread over such a long time. But I feel like it was the level of difficulty, it was cute. Michael Rady, Larry Gary from Parks and Rec. Yeah.
So for those of you that aren't joining us here, I have used a filter to make myself black and white. So let's see if Brian, you are first up in the veto order. Am I going to turn back into color, or am I going to stay black and white? With your decision.
I'm not sure which decision makes you turn back or not, but my response is simple: not in my house. Veto this one off the list. Get out of my face right now. That's
what? Why?
Give me not even the best forgetting Christmas movie of the year. I'm like, it's so egregious that Rescuing Christmas hasn't been on TV yet on the regular channel, because it's the best no Christmas movie.
But it's not eligible, so we have
I
to
know.
go.
This isn't even in my top. This isn't even close. 22 in my list of 44, because I count the two on Movies Now. No, not even. It can't even see the top 10 from where it stands. Like, it wishes. No.
Okay. So we are back to Mary for her third attempt at number 9. Now, so Where Are You Christmas comes out of number 9. Christmas on Cherry Lane comes out of number 9. Anyone can play them both higher up the ranking if they choose to. But for now, they are both out of the number 9 position. Susie, did you get a chance to watch Rescuing Christmas? The other, I'm tired of Christmas and people are forgetting it. Did you get a chance to see that one?
Didn't. That's the one with Sam Page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Sam Page. No,
And
I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see, and I love her too. No, I didn't get to see any of the ones that were on the streaming service. So unfortunately, I think I missed what sounds like a really good one.
Yeah, it is really good. And if you guys have a library card, as Erinbeth said at the beginning of the show 45 hours ago, because we are still on number 9. If your public library has Hoopla, they've got a HMN binge pass, and you can watch it for free. You can stream it for free there. All right, I have Mary's third attempt to get a title locked in for number 9. She's chosen a movie with Ali Liebert and Humberly Gonzalez. It's Friends and Family Christmas. And Daniela has recently moved to New York to pursue an art career, decides to stay in town to share the holidays with her circle of artist friends instead of going home to see her sweet, if overbearing, parents. Amelia is a talented entertainment lawyer trying to stay focused on her work after a broken engagement. When Daniela and Amelia are set up by their parents, they agree to pretend that they're dating to appease them for the holidays. However, as they spend time in each other's worlds, they soon build a connection that's deeper than either of them could have hoped for. This is one of my favorite tropes. It's the fake relationship. Mary.
Yes.
What do you think about this movie?
Listen, I also love fake dating. I love the diversity that we get in this movie, both with the interracial couple and with the lesbian couple. I love that it was like inclusive of different types of characters that we haven't seen a lot of. like with her friends, and I loved her parents together, not with her necessarily, but together, and then how they kind of interacted with the other characters. Yeah, and I love the two main characters. I mean, her photos were not great, but you know, like I mean, I'm on my third pick, so what do you want from me?
Her photos were not
Any
great,
other
but you
movie?
know what? There was great diversity, good storyline. It's a fake relationship trope. You sold it. You sold it very well. Brian, what do you think of Friends and Family Christmas at
This is
number
worse than the last pick.
9?
This is worse. I don't know what to do. I'm like, now I'm exhausted from this. I don't want to waste another veto because we're at what, 9? Are you kidding me right now?
We're still trying to lock in a 9.
This feels like a strategy. Like we're just gonna get rid of all the vetoes early, get this out of the way. Oh, this is so hard, but
Oh,
I'm
right.
gonna.
Did I tell you that I watched the Feast of the Seven Fishes that you recommended and it was crap?
Okay.
And that maybe I need to get you back for that?
I need to hold on to it because of that. I know this is only gonna get worse as we get higher in the list. I'm gonna hold on to my last veto. I don't approve of this at all. This is worse than the last one. I shouldn't have vetoed the last one. I should have left it. I'm just exhausted mentally and physically.
Exhausting. Okay, Brian. Brian is going to let it slide. Vanessa,
Ugh.
I want to hear what you think. You don't have the power to veto it because you only have a veto override. But what do you think of Mary's pick for number 9, Friends and Family Christmas?
I think that I agree with Brian. I like this movie. It's fine. I do love the diversity. I like the new Hallmark. I just don't think it's in the top 10. Like when I look at all the other movies that I have there, I just think there are so many other ones that are so much better than this.
Okay. All right. Well, Mary, congratulations. You have battled it through for number 9. We've got Friends and Family Christmas locked in at number 9. And Vanessa, that means no, that's Brian. Sorry. Brian, that means it's going to be your first chance to send me a title for the number 8 position. Your first pick. So,
I thought that I wanted Friends and Family to be better than it was. I really, really wanted to like that movie. And it just, I want to come up with something nice to say about it, but it just was not my fave.
well, usually they're sort of slapstick. There's a lot of hijinks going on, and there weren't a lot of hijinks in this one. All right,
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that is what it is.
It didn't work for me either, and I really was excited for what they were trying to do. I think that the story really was pretty thin, and I was disappointed in that. It didn't even crack my top 15, to be honest.
exactly.
And if I heard them say emotion in motion one more time, it's gonna just throw something at the TV.
Well, I have Brian's pick for number 8. He has chosen a movie that stars Benjamin Ayres and Laura Vandervoort. It is Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. This was actually the last holiday movie that Hallmark aired. I think it was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel on I think it was the 21st of December. Successful and fiercely independent, Marianne Brubeck adopts a baby girl to raise on her own just before Christmas. Due to weather, she and baby Natalie get stuck in Bethlehem, PA for the holidays. And when there is no more room at the inn, her only option is to stay with the innkeeper's brother, Joe, a quintessential bachelor who lives in a house that he treats like a barn. As Mary Ann learns the value of community by spending time with Joe's family and participating in the local church's Christmas events, Joe starts getting his act together with new motivation, and the two begin to see each other in a new light. There are a lot of biblical references sprinkled throughout this movie, if you pay attention. Brian, did you pay attention? What did you love about A Miracle in Bethlehem, PA?
I missed a lot in that, but what I didn't miss was Ben Ayers at the peak of his career. He is, I said it on Deck the Hallmark, and I'll say it anytime somebody asks about the movie. He's never been better. He played that role so well. Everyone in the office except for Dan felt the same way about that. It was a blast. It caught me by surprise because it was sort of like, all right, we're dragging out there's one more movie. It's a Thursday night. It's a Movies and Mysteries. What are we doing this for? So expectations were super low. I don't even think that was what made it so fun and enjoyable. Like, it was just a good time. I just had a really, really good time with it. And it wasn't like funny, like haha humor. It was just like little stuff that Ben was doing, and the chemistry was great. And if you overlook the fact that, they're trapping her in this town with her newly adopted baby, you you know, just forget that. Everything else about it's phenomenal.
Absolutely. There were some really poignant moments in this movie as well. Mary, you are first up in the veto order. What do you think about Miracle in Bethlehem, PA?
Ooh. So this is a Dayspring movie, and I work for Dayspring. But I don't think it belongs in the top 10. It was really annoying. It was so clunky the way they like insert Bible verse here, her being in a room all by herself praying out loud. Like, how hard is it just to do a voiceover? So it looks like she's praying in her head like normal people do. That ex-girlfriend, what? Like, why did she have to be like that? She was very awful. Benjamin Ayers was excellent, yes. The baby was a baby. I don't know. Her thing with her mom was weird, but I love when something alludes to something else. Doesn't even have to be the Bible, but I like that too, obviously. I don't know. I felt so confused by my own feelings about this movie. But yeah, I mean, the bottom line is I'm not going to veto it.
Okay, well,
But
you're the only one who can veto it, so it will stand at number 8. My mom, fist bumps from Brian. My mom would lose her shit if I just handed her a baby that I adopted. I mean, it's like, in what world does that
that
happen?
relationship was real weird. Like, maybe this lady does not need to be having a baby till she gets her own stuff straightened out. But who am I?
Yeah. So Vanessa, you can't stop it. It's locked in. But as we're getting ready for you to send your number 7 pick over to me, what did you think about Miracle in Bethlehem, PA?
So this is one of those where I really liked it. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. And if I were to choose what are Vanessa's favorite movies, this would have been one of them. But I don't think it's a top 10 Hallmark Christmas movie. So this is one of those that goes there. But I think it's fine where it is. And, all right, we got it.
Okay. All right. So you go ahead and send me your number 7 pick. Susie, what did you think of this movie? Did you see this one?
Yes, I did. It was not my favorite. I don't know how people missed what they were going for. You could see the symbolism from space.
Joseph, Mary, and in what?
I mean, come on. Her name was Mary Ann, Mary Beth, or Mary Leonard. I mean, her name was Mary. It was Joseph. I mean, there was a baby. There was an in. It was clunky. It didn't work for me. And I thought he was fine. There was some woman on woman crime, which I am not a fan of. And so, yeah, no, thank you.
Erinbeth, you're a grandma, so you have a new baby and stuff. Would you be passing around a baby? Someone in the chat is saying, who passes around a newborn to new people that's just days old?
When Brian started talking, I was like, do I need to rewatch this movie? Because I feel like he and I did not watch the same movie. It's like, this woman just got this baby. What is she doing? And maybe there's a reason why she shouldn't have the baby. I don't know. But no, I would not have done the things that she did with that baby.
Well, I have Vanessa's pick for, believe it or not, we are on number 7. We're picking up steam here. Vanessa has chosen a movie that has Niall Matter and Emily Tennant. It's Holiday Hotline. After leaving London, Abby connects with an anonymous caller while working at a cooking hotline. The caller is a single dad named John, who Abby unknowingly has become smitten with in real life. Vanessa, tell us all about Holiday Hotline and why you like it for number 7.
So this one surprised me. I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun watching it. I didn't expect to, especially like when I heard the premise of it. It just didn't really sound all that interesting, except when I was in it, and then the way that she plays Abby and Peggy. I just thought that was so cool. I really wish that turkey hotline is a real thing, because that would be really cool if I could just call
Yes.
somebody and say, wait,
It is. It is a real
It
thing.
is.
Like Butterball.
It
Yeah.
absolutely is a real thing.
Oh,
Not
It's the
sponsored,
Butterball
but
line.
Butterball turkey.
oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Vanessa's like all the ruined turkeys in my life.
This is amazing. That is so cool. Okay. So yeah, I just thought it was really cool. Really fun.
Okay, she thinks it's cool and fun. Mary, you're first up. What do you think about Holiday Hotline? Was it cool and fun?
I love this movie. I loved it. It's higher on my list, but clearly we are coming to this with different lists. So I am not going to veto, because I'm happy it's on the list. I loved it. I love the way they made it. I love the characters. Was the end a little not my favorite? Maybe, but I don't care. I loved it.
Vanessa loves it at number 7. Mary loves it at number 7. I cannot read Brian's expression. Brian, what do you think?
I think this is perfect at 7. This is great. It definitely belongs in the top 10. I have it even a spot higher on just my overall list, but this one was a blast. And they did a lot of cool things with like showing clips of other people's disasters in the kitchen throughout the movie, which you don't see stuff like that normally. And so that there was a lot of different elements put into this movie that made it really stand out, and it was really well done. And so yeah, I'm all on board with this one.
Wow, we've had 2 picks in a row that didn't generate any vetoes. I think, you guys, I'm feeling the love here. This is great. Mary, you're next up for number 6. You can message me in Messenger, and I'll just do a quick recap so far. At number 10, we have My Norwegian Holiday. At number 9, we have Friends and Family Christmas. At number 8 is Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. At 7, we just locked in Holiday Hotline. And Mary has chosen for a number 6 pick, a movie that stars Italia Ricci as Avery. Luke McFarlane is Chris. It's Catch Me If You Claus. Avery Quinn's shot at anchoring news clashes with a Santa-suited intruder named Chris, that's Luke McFarlane, who insists he's Santa's son on his very first Christmas mission. They unravel a career-making story together and share one of the hottest kisses in Hallmark history. Smoking hot. Tell us why you love Catch Me If You Claus.
Well, I love a like romantic adventure type book or movie. So I love that. I love Luke McFarlane being back in another Hallmark movie. Like maybe we haven't lost him forever. I love Italia Ricci in anything. I wish she was in more of these movies. And I mean, I love a good straddle kiss, I guess.
Straddle kiss. Yeah, that was awesome. I almost felt like we should not be watching this. Cover your eyes, but it was great. And I did watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. So, okay. Great choice, Mary. Catch Me If You Claus at number 6. Brian, you're first up in the veto order. You're the only one left with a veto that could prevent this. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% belongs in the top 10, and number 6 is a pretty good spot for it. So I don't have any complaints about that. The kiss was phenomenal. Italia Ricci, she should be in more. Should see her a lot more. Luke was awesome in this role. Like this was a really great wheelhouse role for him. And yeah, this is a great spot for it.
Great spot. All right, so that's locked in at number 6. Vanessa, do you have thoughts? You have a veto override, so you can't do anything, but what do you think about this movie?
I agree. Definitely belongs in the top 10. I mean, just that kiss alone. Whoa, that was something. I quite enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm all for it, and I like the position here.
Awesome. Awesome. So go ahead, Brian. You can send me your pick, which you already have. But before I read your pick, I really want to know what Susie thought of Catch Me If You Claus.
I thought it was delightful. I'm like Mary. I enjoy romantic suspense and romantic mystery in novels. Luke McFarlane is so hot. I mean, I get why she used that excuse to hop on over to his lap in that car. No, it was great. It was fun and it had some action to it. Yeah, loved it.
I have Brian's pick for number 5. He has chosen a movie that starred Chandler Massey as Sawyer and Jesse Schramm is Juniper. It is Mystic Christmas. Juniper is an animal expert and answers a call for help from an old friend. So she travels to Mystic, Connecticut during the holidays to work at the Rehabilitation Center and Aquarium. She reconnects with Sawyer, who is the owner of a pizza shop. All right, Brian, tell us all about Mystic Christmas.
Yeah, I remember this being really funny, like really witty, really well written, really fast paced humor. And it just struck a nerve where it was like the tone of this is so perfect. And it was pretty early on in the season where it aired, and it stayed in my top 10 the whole time. I had a hard time putting things ahead of it, even though it got to the point where you sort of forget why something is so high on your list. But I just knew that when I saw it, when I watched it, it really stood out. And just, I felt like it deserves to be high. What humor is always going to work for me. This had such refreshing humor and delivered so perfectly that it's in my opinion, one of the best demonstrations of a rom-com Christmas movie this season.
Yeah, the dialogue was just really snappy. That was a great script, and I love Jessie Schramm. She's in a lot of my favorite Hallmark movies, especially when she does like the comedic sassy sort of thing. So it was a great pairing between the two of them. Mary, did you like Mystic Christmas? Do you think it belongs on the list, especially at number 5?
I did like it. It did start out very high on my list. It got bumped out of my top 10. And kind of like Brian said, I can't quite remember why. I mean, I do remember it was funny. But I think that I felt like the main two characters were both cute and a little annoying, which is probably why I let it get bumped out of the top 10. But I don't hate it, so I'm not going to veto it.
Okay, Mary doesn't hate it. She's not going to veto it, so it stays at number 5. Great, we're moving right along. Mary, while you send me your pick for number 4, Vanessa, what did you think of Mystic Christmas? Did you like it? Did it make your top 10?
Meh. I mean, I know everybody, when it had come out, there were a lot of discussions about it, like in the Deck the Hallmark group. Everybody liked it. I didn't think it was anything great. It's actually pretty low on my list. Though I do know that a lot of people enjoy it. So I don't know. I wouldn't watch it again. I tried watching it again today, actually, and I gave up.
Gave up. Erinbeth, did you like the movie?
I did, just like Mary, it got bumped out of my top 10. Like as the time went on, there were just so many good movies this year. And I thought it was cute and I enjoyed it. And I thought the dialogue was really good. I think that's probably what I liked most about it was the dialogue and the pizza box Christmas tree. But
Yeah, I had the same reaction, I think, that you've all expressed. I do have Mary's pick for number 4. Um, this is where we're getting right to the top of the list. We've been really just jamming right along since the bottleneck at 10 and 9. Mary has chosen a movie that stars Evan Roderick as Wyatt. There is a cameo appearance by a reindeer played by, I think, Chris McNally. I'm not sure. And Katie Findlay is Carly. It's sealed with a list. This holiday season, festive Carly sets out to conquer her list of abandoned resolutions from last year. Aided by coworker Wyatt, Carly finds love and the confidence to chase their dreams. It's got a smart, witty script. I laughed a lot. Katie Findlay uses the pronouns they and her in her personal life, and they starred in 2021's Hallmark movie Love Strikes Twice, which is also a great flick if you hadn't seen it. So, Mary, why do you like Sealed with a List at number 4?
I really like Katie Findlay. I loved that other movie she was in. She reminds me so much of Moira Kelly in The Cutting Edge, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
When this movie started, I said out loud to my husband, I don't know how they're going to redeem him. At first I was like, tell me he's not the guy. Oh my gosh, tell me he's not the guy. Oh, he's the guy. But then they did. They turned it around, and I will admit, like, it's embarrassing, but I am a sucker for like rich guy, famous guy paired with a norm romance, because it's a stupid fantasy, but I do love it. He became nice. I don't know. They were really cute together. I liked it.
Yeah, they were really cute together. They had some great chemistry. She had some great clothes. It was a good movie. It's definitely in my personal top 10. Brian, what are your thoughts on Sealed with a List?
What's the veto count stand at right now? Is it just Mary and I
It's just
who
you
have one?
it's just you and Mary, and you each have one.
Okay.
And this is pick number 4. There's only 3 more titles left to fill in the blanks.
I could not be more happy with this at 4. I was worried that this we'd move past the opportunity where this movie was going to get put on this list. I thought this movie was so good. It was so it was just so good. It was so fun. The idea was great. They landed it from even when we heard the idea during the previews before the season, we were really anticipating around the Deck the Hallmark office this movie because it's such a cool, unique idea. And they did it. They all the way through, and the chemistry was awesome. And it was so well done how they went from enemies to love interest, and work. It felt so genuine how they made that transition into becoming close. And yeah, really great. I'm so psyched this is on the list. Maybe some people would think it's a little high, but I'm fine with it here. I'm just so happy it's here.
Well, it's definitely here. It's locked in at number 4, Sealed with a List, because Vanessa still has that veto override that she's probably waiting to use. Vanessa, did you like this movie? Do you think it belongs on the list, especially this high up?
I loved this movie, and I definitely think it belongs in the top 10. But now I have to do choice number 3.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
up to you.
is tough because I have 4 movies that must be in the top. And there are only 3 spots left. So this is really, really tough.
Well, you take a moment to think about it. I'm going to do a state of the list recap right now. We have at 10, My Norwegian Holiday. At 9 is Friends and Family Christmas. At 8, Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. At 7, Holiday Hotline. At 6, Catch Me If You Claus. At 5, Mystic Christmas. At 4 is Sealed with a List. And Vanessa has chosen a movie that stars Hunter King, Benjamin Hollingsworth, great ensemble cast. It's the Santa Summit. At a Santa-themed holiday event, 3 teachers get their groove back, strengthen their friendship, and unexpectedly find love along the way. It's time for the annual Santa Summit, in which revelers put on Santa suits and visit designated locations in town to eat, drink, and be merry. These 3 teachers are besties, and they attend the summit together. Jordan is a recently dumped art teacher looking to cut loose. Ava's a shy woman hoping to run into her crush. And Stella is a Christmas cynic with no interest in the Santa Summit whatsoever. And at the start of the night, Jordan meets and bonds with Liam, but doesn't get his name before getting separated and lost in the sea of Santas. The evening progresses, hijinks ensue, and amidst the chaos, celebration, and a sea of Santas, they all find what they're looking for: Christmas spirit, potential romance, and a strengthened bond of friendship. Great ensemble cast. Vanessa, what else do you love about Santa Summit at number 3?
I mean, the new Cher Christmas song playing while they're dancing in the club, it was great. And every time I hear that song, which is, as the kids like to say, a bop, every time that song is on, I think of that scene, and it's great. I love the movie. It was fun. It was different. I love Hunter King. I love the idea that everybody was dressed as Santa. It was just a really fun movie.
Have you ever been on a Santa pub crawl or a Santa Summit pub crawl?
No. I've been out when I have in New York City when that's happening, and that is a bad scene.
It's a bad scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mary, you're first up in the veto order. What do you think of the Santa Summit? A Santa Summit at number 3.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a super fun movie. It's not quite this high on my own list, but I'm fine with it here. It's good.
Okay, it makes it past Mary. Brian, are you going to crush Vanessa's dreams at the Santa Summit at number 3? You still have a veto.
I do have a veto. Oh man, no, this is the perfect position for this movie. Like, I feel bad because I feel like we should have a little more drama here. But we're just cruising through because the movies are just so good at this point that everybody feels the same for the most part. This was one of the most fun movies of the year, obviously, and yeah, number 3 is a great spot for it. You couldn't pay me enough to veto this movie out of the spot.
So you got you were in New York or New Jersey for a Santa pub crawl recently, right?
We did the
Sort of?
SantaCon. Oh yeah, we did SantaCon. I guess you could say we did SantaCon. We went to one bar dressed as Santas and rushed the streets with all the other Santas. And I'm glad. I guess I'm glad I had that opportunity. I don't need to do that again. I don't feel like that's something that you need to continue to do throughout your life. I get it. I get the idea. I see what it's all about.
But where are you going to wear that suit again? You were styling.
Where
You
am I
really
not
were.
gonna wear? Weddings, funerals, any event really.
Grocery shopping.
Yeah, just Tuesday afternoon. I mean,
But your
Subway,
birthday suits?
oh, that'd be a good. I should show up to my own birthday party in that. That's a great idea. Like, why didn't everybody else dress up? Come on.
Exactly. Slobs, come on. All right, the Santa Summit is locked in at number 3. And as for, potential lack of drama for the second and the number 1 pick, I think we had more than enough drama in the trivia round and in trying to get through 10 and 9. So we'll see what happens with number 2, which is up to Mary. It's her final pick. I can't wait to see what she comes up with. One of the double deckers in the chat says, Brian, that suit is perfect for Bramblefest. There you go. Wardrobe done. Wardrobe.
I hope
done.
it makes it that far. I hope I can hold on, keep it pristine that long.
Exactly. All right. I have Mary's pick for number 2. Brian still has a veto left. Just FYI, Mary has a veto left that she can use for the number 1 pick. So here we go. At number 2, Mary has chosen a movie that stars Christopher Polaha as Jack. Jonathan Frakes is in it. Bethany Joy Lenz is Lucy. It's A Biltmore Christmas. Lucy is hired to write the script for a remake of a holiday movie called His Merry Wife. She joins a tour of the Biltmore grounds, and when she knocks an hourglass over, she finds herself transported back in time to 1946, where she meets actor Jack Hudson, that's Chris Palaha, on the movie set. And Lucy and Jack become close, but her appearance sets off a chain of events that put the movie's production in jeopardy. Before Lucy can return to the present, she must make things right, or else the future is altered forever. Why do you love A Biltmore Christmas for number 2, Mary?
Oh my gosh, there are so many reasons. I love time travel stories. I mean, obviously, these are two of our very favorite Hallmark actors. They were both fantastic. The whole thing looked beautiful. I love the movie in a movie thing. When I finished it, I wanted to hug it. It just made me feel warm and fuzzy. Now, I will say, after listening to the Deck the Hallmark episode, I totally agree with the feelings about the ending, how it should have gone. But it's still really, really good.
Mary feels it's still really, really good and should be at number 2. Brian, you have one veto. Do you agree that A Biltmore Christmas should be number 2?
Yeah, I do. I'm just realizing now, though, that what this means for other movies that aren't even mentioned in this top 10, and I'm starting to feel bad and anxious about one in particular. But this movie for sure deserves top 2. I thought it was going to be a fight at 1. That this movie was going to be held out for the top 1 spot, and it was going to be kind of a battle to get it in there. But I feel like this is a good spot for it. It ended up a little lower on my overall list for the year. It was still top 4. It was my 4th movie overall. But yeah, great movie. CC, give me a break, okay? 4 is fine. 4 is fine. Okay, it's not like I have it in Never Been Chris territory. So good movie, great stuff. It was just such a good crop this year, and humor wins out for me over almost anything else. It could be the worst movie making, but be so funny that I'm laughing out loud hysterically, and that will always beat great filmmaking. And that's what happened here. My top 3 are funny over like very well made, and that's why Biltmore fell a little bit for me. But yeah, this obviously is a top 1, 2, 3 movie. This is a great movie, one of the best of the year, one of the best they've ever done. So well deserved.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is locked in at number 2, A Biltmore Christmas. Vanessa, what are your thoughts on A Biltmore Christmas at number 2 as Ryan sends me his pick for number 1?
I agree. I think Biltmore Christmas is great at number 2. I also agree with Brian that it really does make me worried about what's going to be number 1, and seeing what we have left and how there are some really, really good ones that were left out that really need to be. I don't know, man. I'm stressed. I don't know. I can't wait to see what Brian puts.
Erinbeth and Susie, did you both love A Biltmore Christmas? Are you happy to see it at number 2? Getting some head
It was
shakes.
beautiful. It was a beautifully made movie. I mean, like, in my notes, I think I even said something like it really could stand next to your 90s rom-coms. It felt like that. And I think number 2 is the perfect spot for it.
Well, I have Brian's pick for number 1. I'm going to do a quick recap of the list. At 10, we have My Norwegian Holiday. At 9, we have Friends and Family Christmas. At 8, Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. At 7, Holiday Hotline. At 6, Catch Me If You Claus. At 5, Mystic Christmas. At 4, Sealed with a List. At 3, The Santa Summit. At 2, A Biltmore Christmas. And at number 1, Brian has offered up the following movie for the number 1 best a Christmas movie that Hallmark aired in 2023.
Oh, what did he do?
It stars Dan Jeanette as Will, Alex Peyton Beasley is Olivia. It is Our Christmas Mural.
What drugs has Brian been taking?
Why?
No.
That's
Right.
offensive.
Funny,
My
Brian. You
feeling-
said you
my
put
feeling-
funny up
yeah.
there.
Are you on psychedelics?
Oh, God.
My
Are
feeling
you
is-
under
Hurt you,
doctor's
Brian.
orders?
This I
people
feel
in
like
the
you
chat
guys
are-
don't like the arts, then that's your thing. But whenever arts can be front and center, I'm all about the arts. Okay.
Brian, my degree is in art history, and I would not play this movie, even in the top
Thank you.
10, let alone at number one. But
You
let me
took
tell
on major.
everybody what this movie is about. So, Our Christmas Mural, Olivia is a single mom. She returns home for Christmas. Her mom secretly enters her into a mural contest. She wins, but partners with teacher Will to create a Christmas masterpiece. Brian, defend yourself. Why does this movie deserve to be number one?
Well, I feel like it speaks for itself. But if I must, the idea here was great. Small town, the artist going back, her mom signs her up, an uninspired artist forced to get back into it. It was
Our
yes, it was barely a mural.
couldn't call it
Yes, we
our
bar-
Christmas murals.
Cece, we hear it. We hear everybody
Cece,
hears
we
you.
hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Matt's on my
actually-
side. Matt is on my side, 100%. It was
She's
barely
telling
a
on
mural.
that on you.
It was. We did not hardly see the mural. So what? We all know it was great. This deserves to be mentioned among the best movies of the year for the effort and the acting. And I'll let Mary take it from here.
So, Mary, you are first up in the veto order. You do have a veto. I don't know if Brian's serious or just trying to draw out your other veto. I don't know. Maybe you love this movie too. What do you think about Christmas Mural at number one?
I mean, the thing about Brian Harold is that we know what to expect. Yeah, I'm gonna have to veto this. It's ridiculous.
Ah,
Oh,
come on.
There you
So-
go. You got what you wanted.
Well, okay. I guess I'll pick some. So nobody has any vetoes left, right?
Only you, Brian, and Vanessa has a veto override. So yeah, pretty much
let's hear
whatever you
from her,
pick,
huh?
whatever you pick is going to stand.
Well,
And
we
Matt
might-
says he does not have your back on Christmas.
He's lying. He's a coward to admit it. You're gonna override that, right, Vanessa? So we're going strong with Our Christmas Mural here at number one.
Is that a joke? I'm still
Mom?
stunned.
Dad.
Is this-
Joke.
Too much. He is drunk on power. He
It's
didn't
drunk on
even
that one.
need one of our fancy drinks.
No. This is what happens when Brian isn't in the middle chair, when he sits on his own. It's Brian unleashed.
Okay, so I have to send a different pick now.
You
Why
do.
are we friends with him?
Yes, the
Man.
one you already have typed because you knew. By golly, Mary was not going to let that.
Yeah, all right. My strategy might have been a little transparent there, but
Yeah.
it had to be done.
It had to be done.
I mean, I
Brian-
commend it. I commend it,
Protecting
actually.
her post. Thank you. Yeah, it's security.
Good move.
is
It was a
number
good
one.
move.
Brian
I-
has reluctantly replaced his number one pick of Our Christmas Mural with a movie, that may or may not exceed Our Christmas Mural's expectations. It stars Brian Greenberg, Rick Hoffman, Vic Michaels. It's Round and Round, or as Brian wrote, Round and Round, obviously. Rachel's stuck in a time loop, reliving the night of her parents' Hanukkah party. Can Zach, the nice boy grandma's trying to set her up with, help her make it to tomorrow? Love a time loop movie. This movie was fabulous. Brian, thank you for coming to your senses. Tell us all about Round and Round and what you loved about it.
Yeah, I wasn't coming into this and letting anything except Round and Round be number one. There's just no way around that. I'm so glad that it wasn't even a fight with Biltmore because it's so hard to defend it. Hollow to Holly, I'm embarrassed that I didn't mention it early in the list. I thought for sure it would be top 5. I can't even believe it's not on this list. It's tragic, but the fact that Round and Round, I mean, they're so strong this year. It's so hard. Round and Round is just one of the, obviously just the best movie of the year. So great in so many ways. It was so fun. I there's just I can't, my strategy, my only strategy in this was Round and Round has to be number 1, and that's all that matters. Everything else is gravy, and that's all that.
Round and Round is locked in at number 1 because there are no more vetoes. Vanessa can't use a veto override. Mary, what do you think of Round and Round for the number 1 pick? Good choice?
Oh, it's the only choice. It's the only choice. You know, when the guys do their ranking and they have a category of oh, I forget what they call it, but like real life movie.
Real movie territory.
Real movie category.
Real movie territory. I always kind of think, okay, because I love Hallmark movies, but they are rarely actually real movie territory. And this one 100% is. It is the only one for number 1. I was hoping this was Brian's stupid strategy, so good job, I guess.
And stupid strategy worked. You know, it was effective.
Okay, but he could have done it. I would not have vetoed it, and then I'd be going into 2024 with a veto, but now I'm not.
No, you're not.
And I would really hope that at that point, Brian would have vetoed himself and played Round and Round.
Exactly. Vanessa, did you love Round and Round?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so happy. I was really, really worried that it wasn't going to make this list. Just judging on the chaos that's been occurring here. So I'm really, really relieved that it's here.
That's
it's a great movie. So much fun.
All right. Before we have everybody unmute so that the double deckers that were able to join us tonight, who have been previous 2023 drafters or guest co-hosts, let's get to the side hustle. So Susie, just really quickly, will you read your top 10 list, starting with number 10, going up to your number 1?
Yes. At 10, I had Where Are You Christmas? 9, The Santa Summit. 8, A Heidelberg Holiday. 7, Catch Me If You Claus. 6, Christmas on Cherry Lane. 5, Holiday Hotline. 4, Haul Out the Holly Lit Up. 3, Round and Round. 2, Sealed with a List. And 1, Biltmore Christmas.
Awesome. What about you, Erinbeth?
Number 10, Christmas in Notting Hill. 9, A World Record Christmas. 8, Holiday Hotline. 7, The Santa Summit. 6, Christmas on Cherry Lane. 5, Sealed with a List. 4, A Heidelberg Holiday. 3, Catch Me If You Claus. 2, A Biltmore Christmas. 1, Round and Round. And if I have been in a streak of not winning, and I believe by my count I won this month. So if I had to come out of that, I'm glad it was on the Christmas movies.
Awesome. My top 10 were this. A Merry Scottish Christmas at number 10. At 9, Christmas on Cherry Lane. 8, The Santa Summit. 7, Catch Me If You Claus. 6, A World Record Christmas. 5, And I Stand By It, My Christmas Guide. 4, Haul Out the Holly Lit Up. 3, Sealed with a List. 2, A Biltmore Christmas. And number 1, Round and Round. So, great job, everybody. I'm going to read the top 10 list for the final time, and then everyone can unmute and we can have a little chat about what movies didn't get played that you think should have been on the list, what you think of the final rankings, and all of that great stuff. So this is the singular definitive list of the 10 best Hallmark Christmas movies of 2023 as drafted by Brian, Mary, and Vanessa. Here we go. At 10, My Norwegian Holiday. At 9, Friends and Family Christmas. At 8, Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. At 7, Holiday Hotline. At 6, Catch Me If You Claus. At 5, Mystic Pizza. No. Mystic Christmas. You know, I was sure I was going to say Mystic Pizza throughout the whole thing, and I just waited until the very end to do it. At 5 is Mystic Christmas. At 4 is Sealed with a List. At 3, The Santa Summit. At 2, A Biltmore Christmas. And at number 1, Round and Round. Great job, everybody. Okay, past drafters and guest co-hosts. Anybody have any thoughts? Kate?
I do, of course. I beat all of the hosts and co-hosts today. I got 8 out of 10 on my list.
Wow,
So I'll
very
tell you,
good.
the two that I did not have were Friends and Family Christmas and Miracle in Bethlehem, PA, which I didn't hate both of them. They just fell right in the middle of my list. I would have replaced them with Take Me Back to Christmas, which I love the sliding doors trope. That was a great movie. And Vanessa Lynch's performance is perfect. And I'm Sorry, Mary, Christmas Island. Best kiss of the year. That's my vote for Deckies. I'm making the plea now.
Best kiss of the year, really?
Yeah, I
Brian,
mean, I liked Catch
Did
Me If
you
You Clouds too,
see?
but
Did you see Luke McFarlane?
yeah, no, I liked that one too. But the not even the end kiss, the first kiss in Christmas Island. You all should go back and look at that.
Now I feel like I have to go back and rewatch it.
You can fast forward to that part. That's easy.
That's true.
yeah. What about anybody else? Erin or Jackie, Nicole, Jillian, Whitney? If
I
not,
think the
Brian,
list is pretty solid. This is Erin. My only one that I would have had on top 10, and I'm probably the only person here, is the Holiday Road, or the holiday one, the road trip one. I really enjoyed that one. I actually teared up quite a bit. But I think I might be the minority here, but I really enjoyed that one. It was in my top, like, number 7, I think. But otherwise, well played, Brian. I respect the gameplay. So.
And for me, I had 2 Hallmark movies and mysteries that were in the top. To All a Good Night. I don't know. There was I liked some of the feelings in that one. And then maybe because it was early and I was open to lots of, I hadn't watched Christmas movies in a while, but Mrs. Christmas or whatever it was called, I liked that one. Yeah, so it never really dropped out of the top 10. So
yeah, Brennan Elliott
think-
always does a good job. They
Yeah.
had a really good cast, so that's solid.
I like that they, when there wasn't this big fight when they, when she discovered the truth about him, and that it played it like adults. So I was happy with that.
That's good. Brian, what were some of the movies that you thought should be on the list that didn't make it onto the list that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Yeah, Hall at the Holly lit up for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like belongs really high on the list. What else do we have? Well, I mean, Rescuing Christmas. I know we can't talk about it because
Oh, we
it's
can talk about it. It just
but
wasn't eligible. Yeah.
yeah, it needs to. It's a really, really good one. I mean, everything else on my list, my top 10 is there. I mean, I was surprised that A Season for Family wasn't brought up. I actually really like that one. I mean, Navigating Christmas, nobody really seemed to like that as much as I did, but I thought that was the best kiss of the year for me. And it mostly had to do with the music was great, like the lighting was great, like everything around it was just a really great presentation. I mean, obviously, like the Catch Me If You Claus is the ultimate kiss of the year. There's no way around that. Talia Ricci
Yeah.
just hopping on there. But yeah, I mean, it's just like the top 10 is not universal, but there are a handful that just everybody has. And now I regret not using my veto on Friends and Family, because I feel like Mary, what would you have done if I vetoed Friends and Family? What was your next one?
Oh, well, I might have gotten a little frustrated at that point and gone to my 11 through 15 movies. All the rest of mine ended up on the list. So honestly, I might have said checking it twice.
Ooh,
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I would've
so
been
glad you
happy with
didn't veto
that.
her,
So
Brian.
glad.
I would have been
I
happy
liked
with
that
that.
movie. I know that everyone else did not like it, but I did like it. So I
Yeah,
think you
liked
made the right
it.
choice.
Well, I would have rathered that than Friends and Family.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I'm glad you mentioned A Season for Family because Brendan Penny is on the line, right?
Oh, perfect.
Oh, sorry. Wait, you know what? I tried to admit him, but I actually didn't. I'm sorry, guys. He had to
That's fine.
go. I'm sorry.
He'll come
That's
back.
too bad. Any other checking it twice was good. Oh, please. Who is sad bedroom? Who is saying that? Is that you, Cece? No, stop. Unmute yourself and defend yourself.
Checking it twice is as hot as that guy's ever gonna get. He was so hot in that movie.
Which is
And
still
Kim-
like a
and-
two.
And Kim Matua is also real hot. So for me, a bisexual female, like that movie was just like, I mean, it wasn't in my top 10. Don't get me wrong. It was number 18 on my list, but still.
What was your
But
top
number
10?
one in your pants.
Oh yeah. I don't know about number one in my pants. Number one in my pants was
That sounds messy
Catch
to
me if you
me,
pause.
actually.
or sealed with a list. But no, I did have Mrs. Christmas is Coming to Town too, for all the reasons that Jackie said. Just because I love Brennan too. Now that I did the Brennan draft, I've come to have a new admiration for Brennan. I followed him around Christmas Con, like a puppy dog all weekend. I got 3 pictures with him. We danced to the song from the Ice Wine movie. So, and I really liked Mystery on Mistletoe Lane. So I don't know. That was in my top 10 too. But most of the rest was very similar to mine.
Well, I think you guys did a really great job with this list. You banged it out in record time. I was getting very concerned with the slog from 10 to 9, but it's awesome. I'm going to read the list for the final time. So here it is again. We have at 10, My Norwegian Holiday. At 9, Friends and Family Christmas. At 8, Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. At 7, Holiday Hotline. At 6, Catch Me If You Claus. At 5, Mystic Christmas, not a pizza. At 4, Sealed with a List. At 3, The Santa Summit. At 2, A Biltmore Christmas. And number 1 for 2023, according to Brian, Mary, and Vanessa, Round and Round. So great job, everybody. Let's say bye.
Bye.
Justice for the Holly. Hallmark Movie Drafts is produced by me, Lynn Austin, with additional creative and research support from Erinbeth Cermak and Catherine Baca. The show would not be possible without the dedicated and talented Deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much. Intro and outro music is courtesy of Amada Zapana. If you love this pod, please leave a 5-star review. It helps other Hallmark movie fans to find us and join in on the shenanigans. Follow the show at Hallmark Movie Drafts on Instagram.